Hello, welcome to the Rhythm Roast Cafe. I'm Tom Brennan. This is Danny. Our buddy Nick isn't here tonight. He's indisposed. The topic tonight is going to be e-bikes. They're in the news a lot, and there's some things happened lately that bugged the hell out of me with unregulated e-bikes. Electric motor scooters. There's electric motorcycles out there, and they're riding around like they're e-bikes.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, what do you call these things? They're actually motorized vehicles, right?
Yeah, some of them.
Does it matter that they're not motorized by fossil fuels?
Right.
You know, they're motorized by a battery.
Right.
You know, and you could theoretically, take fossil fuel engine and have that power a battery, kind of like a diesel train, you know, and be run by a battery or electricity instead of direct fossil fuel. So the definition of what, in fact, is a vehicle that's motorized is the number one issue. And I don't think it's been legally addressed by most states. I took a quick survey on the internet to see what came up as far as laws across the United States. And there is no consistent law.
No.
You know, and the one that's the biggest problem to me isn't so much the e-bike, because it's a bicycle that's enhanced, it's augmented. So you got the basic idea, and the basic person who's going to be riding that bike knows most of the rules of the road that pertain to a bike. I'm most concerned about the e-scooter and the e-skateboard and the Segway, okay, and all these subordinate ones.
The thing is, all right, e-bikes. I have an e-bike. I have a Trek e-bike. It's all right. In Illinois, there's 3 classes. Well, there's 3 recognized classes of e-bikes, and number 1 is a pedal assist,
right?
And will only have power up to 20 miles an hour. Now you can go faster than 20 if you can pedal faster than 20, but the electric assist will cut out at 20 miles an hour. Then class 2 is with a throttle, you know, and it's probably pedal assist and a throttle.
So that means if you don't want to pedal, you can just throttle
Hit the throttle, and that goes up to 20 miles an hour.
Just the throttle.
Just
without
the throttle,
pedaling.
yeah, without pedaling. The electric stops at 20. And then there's class 3, which is pedal assist, again, no throttle, and goes up to 28 miles an hour.
Right.
But there are, and that's fine. I mean, e-bikes are great, except for geezers like me. I've had several of them. I built kits. I use Tongsheng mid-drive. There's 2 kinds of ways that e-bikes are driven. There's some of them that have a hub in the rear wheel.
In the wheel, right.
And it just drives the wheel directly with that hub motor. And that's not the cool way to do it. The cool way to do it is with a mid-drive, and the motor is inside
The pedal?
the pedals.
Pedal assist.
And the motor Well, you can have pedal assist with a hub motor too, but it's not the same. So you had the motor down there, and then you're driving through the pedals, and then through the chain, and through the gearing.
So is there a sensor there that picks up your speed?
Well, there's two kinds. Some of them have torque sensors. Most of them have torque sensors, and the harder you push the pedal, the more power it gives you. So it makes you feel like Superman. But you have more connection with the bike and the feeling that you are controlling this bike.
So it's reacting to you.
It's reacting to you. And then some of them,
Kind of like a horse.
well,
You know, you whip that horse a little bit and, squeeze the...
yeah, but you're feeling like you got the power.
You got the power,
You had the
right.
power with torque assist. And then some of them give power by how many revolutions they're going. Like in kits. All right, when I started doing e-bikes, when like, whoa, what's that thing? And I with kits, and I used Tongsheng mid drives,
Those from
and I had them on two bicycles, and I had them on two. My brother's trying to call me. I hear him in my hearing aids, so I just got to ignore him here because I'm not going to talk to him. I'm talking to you people. He's on his way from Seattle, and he's driving. He gets bored, so he calls me, you know. Yeah. So anyway, where I was going, then there's an outfit called Bafang, and they make mid-drive motor kits. But they go by your cadence. The faster you're spinning the thing, the more power it makes. And
So they go by RPMs.
yeah, and that has a different feel to it. So anyway, I mean, there's more hub drives out there because they're cheaper.
So how does that connect to your... How does the sensor on the hub drive connect to your pedals? Or don't they at all?
Well, I don't know. I
Is it
never
just-
had a hub drive, but I know that there's a pedal assist
So it assists them in some way.
in some way, yeah. But it's not the kind of direct connection, I mean, that you get with the mid drives. And like
So do
the
you
guys that do mountain bikes, electric, they use mid drives.
So you take your 18-speed mountain bike that you've already bought, your Schwinn, and you bring it in and you remove the crank and the pedals and you put in this
The
the
goes right in there.
supplementary motor that goes right in, and you put the
Yeah.
pedals back in the way they want it, and now you have...
And you hook up a battery,
got-
you wire it
now
up.
How do you hook up the battery to the throttle? Does the throttle go to a cable that goes
Well,
to the handlebars?
the mid drives that I was using, I didn't use throttles, but I put a throttle on Linda's. But and it just hooked into the computer, the little chip thing. You know, it hooked in with a wire. So yeah, that's how you do these mid drives. You pull the crankshaft out, and this thing will stick into that same crankshaft, and it'll hang under the bike or in front, you know, depending on where you want to position the motor, which is about this big.
Now, would you suggest getting a gang box to run headlights, taillights, turn signals off of that battery?
Well, you
Or
can.
would you
That's
just
all
get a
optional with those things.
Oh, it is.
You can get lights that'll be run off it, and you have to get a battery.
Right.
You know, and there's all different kinds of batteries out
Well, you
there.
have to get the removable one, right? So
Yeah.
You can have one,
Right,
one
and you-
charging in the cradle at home and the other one in the
Yeah,
bike.
and there'll be a cradle like on a bicycle. It'll go where it'll usually bolt into where you have on the down tube for the to put your water bottle. That's where they'll put the battery. And on a trike, they'll put it next to the rear wheel. There, you know, you get a little platform, and
Now,
all this stuff is out there.
I think it was Lectric had a foldable electric tricycle. And the whole thing folds up. I mean, the two back tires fold together, and behind the seat it arches, and then in front of the seat it swivels over, so you have three tires in a row. And I believe they're 20-inch or 24-inch, maybe 20 inches might be the proper size. And anyway, you can put it easily in an airplane and take it with you to Europe. You know, because I'll tell you what, if you're over 60 years old, I mean, you know, you've been to Europe, the entire continent is one Stairmaster. You're in 10 feet, you're going up or you're going down. Okay.
Show us a cat trike.
A cat trike?
Cat trike, yeah. Because I had the trikes I had were
I was gonna say this is the electric one Dan was talking about.
Yeah.
To get a catch, right?
you know, they had two wheels in the front and one in the
Oh,
back,
yeah, okay.
Oh, those are
and
cool.
they're recumbent,
Yeah,
right?
those are real cool.
And I had a cat trike and I had an ice. Ice is made in England, high wage country, and cat trike is made in the United States.
Now,
And
they
those
can't-
things you're sitting low, and you can really get rolling on them, and
and
you
you
can
don't have to worry about hitting a bump and flipping over.
Flipping over. It's like do you remember when the kids had those green machine things?
Yeah,
you know, they
yes,
could
yes.
with the
Yeah, you
brakes,
can-
you know, and they could skid around and everything.
That's
and,
the best one. I think they have
They,
some.
they call those tadpoles, the ones that have the two wheels in the front, and you're recumbent, you're semi
sitting
laying
down,
down.
right.
Some of them, the real fast ones, you're really laying down. But we're getting kind of away from things like
Well, I think you need some mirrors on them if you make if you're going to make these things more public accessible.
well, they should have mirrors.
On both sides.
Yeah.
Because you don't know which side you're going to be riding the road on. And there should be rules. Which side of the road are you going to ride? On the way here today from the store, I went down to the store. I'm coming down Addison Road, which is 4-laner. I'm going in a northerly direction with the other 2 lanes, and there's the cars in front of me I see are swiveling around to the left a little bit. As though there's a pothole that they're trying to get around. It's this guy on an e-bike going against the grain of traffic coming up over there because I guess he's too afraid of being with the traffic that somebody's going to clip him from behind. He'd rather see traffic coming at him, and I understand the feeling, but then get a couple mirrors. It's going to be...
Well, what bugs me is there's kids in the suburbs, 10, 12-year-old kids, riding around on these electric scooters.
Scooters.
Some of them are, okay, you're supposed to be 750 watts to fall into the classification system.
Right.
The most you can
But
have
you
is
be
700.
500 watts on a scooter.
Well, yeah, but some of these scooters are 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. Some of them will go 60 miles an hour,
Wow.
right?
And where has it got a 4-inch wheel?
And then if you go, you can watch guys in California. If you go on YouTube, you'll see guys in California that have these so-called e-bikes,
Super.
and they never touch the pedals, and they're using it like
Like a motorcycle.
an electric motorcycle. But then they want to use it as a bicycle when it's to their advantage.
But like you said, going back to the scooter, it's not the e-bikes that are mostly dangerous to people like you and me. It's when you come out of the hospital after your quadruple bypass and you're told by the doctor you got to walk 4 or 5 miles a day as fast as you can. So you figure you're in an area that has a sidewalk, so you're going to walk on the sidewalk. And all of a sudden you see in front of you, coming at you at a rapid 11 miles an hour, is a 9-year-old kid on a scooter that's motorized. He's not using his foot to make it
I
go.
see adults on
those scooters.
e-bikes,
I've
not
seen
on the
teenagers.
scooter, on the regular,
Bicycle?
class 1, 2, 3 type riding on the sidewalks.
On the
Fast.
sidewalks.
Adults, I mean 60-year-old people. I mean e-bikes are great for geezers, right? It gets you out there. You can
If you get tired,
you can kick it in. If you can put it on turbo and get a lot of power, you can put it on
you
eco.
can always
and
get back home.
you can always get back home, right? And you can get up the hills and stuff, and you can give yourself more power for the hills.
I feel like you've achieved something.
Yeah, and it gets you out and you're getting around. And people are using them in cities just to get around instead of in a car. And
No, it's got many advantages.
There's a lot of good things about them. It's just they got to control. The other day, I'm out driving in Wheaton, and there's 2 kids, like 8, 10 years old, and they're not on e-bikes. They're on these electric scooters.
Scooters.
And I got to watch out for these 2 little bastards, right? Because they're coming this way, and they're just kids. They don't realize traffic, and you know, and they're weaving around like they're having a good time, but they're out on the public streets doing it.
You guys have a great comment from John. He said that he is from a town in Colorado that has population of 8,000, and it seems about a third of the town is on electric bikes, another third of the town is on bicycles. There's an infrastructure here. There needs to be bicycle lanes to use, and he also threw in a funny jab that kids will always hot rod things, whether it's a mini bike or car. Sometimes common sense is involved, sometimes not.
You know,
Yeah.
I agree. You have to have an infrastructure for it, but that means spending some money. You know, so who's going to spend money? They're going to need to probably recoup that money by making licenses. You know, so that you'll have to license to have a bike that has more than 500 watts. You'll have to license a person to drive it. And you know what? The biggest problem I see with those scooters is that how do you tell a 9-year-old that when you turn that handlebar in front too fast, it's going to jackknife on him? He's got to experience that, doesn't he? How many times does he have to fall at 7 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, 11 miles an hour before he learns? You know, and how many hospital bills are you going to pay for it?
Well, they're going to have to, you know, like a motorcyclist, you're going to have to learn if you want to turn right, you push the handlebars left.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
if you're going to lean into it,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you look at those guys that are doing the motorcycle races as they're going around the oval. Their wheels are in the opposite direction of where they're turning, and their helmet is scraping the ground. Okay, I mean they're just
They're really over now.
They're pivoting on a center of gravity that you can't see.
You didn't do that with a Norton Atlas.
Yeah.
When the guy was pinging the gravel out of your bone.
Yeah.
For that story. So yeah, you know, I mean, people can, you know, still ride a bicycle on the street. Like you're not supposed to ride a bicycle on the sidewalk. I think it's a lot of towns it's illegal. But
What do
now,
you do with these 9-year-old kids in a powered scooter?
yeah.
How do you police that?
Well, you arrest them. When the police see them, they arrest them. That's what the police are supposed. People say the police have other things to do.
Yeah.
They don't. The most important thing the police can do
Is
is
protect
to
kids.
enforce civility in society. You're not going to stop burglars. You're not going to stop car thefts. But you can stop people that aren't civil. You can, you know,
Yeah.
and the little things in life, you know, the broken window theory, you know.
Right.
The little things that bug you in life. You know, when I'm going about my day-to-day business, I'm not sitting thinking, boy, those damn burglars, man.
No, it's this. It's the category of somebody ought to do something about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we sign off, there's a couple of interesting things happened today and this week, and one of them was today was the day that a famous rock and roll artist, Ozzy Osbourne,
Performer.
yeah, performer, artist,
Artist.
songwriter.
That's the baby boomers. They turned rock and roll shows into concerts. Like we were going to see Fritz Reiner and the Chicago Symphony. You know, it's a rock and roll show. And then performers became artists. You know, where is the artist? Not where's the performer, you know. Where's the artist?
Well, what would David Bowie be? Performer or artist?
Performer.
Performer?
He was a showman. His show business.
I think he created an art form, though, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Even if it was performance art.
Well, no, I mean, you know, almost anything can be art that you're performing, but just it's a pretentious term that came up with the baby boomers. You know, nobody in the '50s, when they said bring Elvis to the stage, said, "Oh, go get the artist." You know, where is the artist? They said, "Where's the act?"
The act, yeah. Yeah.
And I
interesting.
got us sidetracked again. See,
Yeah.
I don't know what you were even going to try to say.
I don't know. I lost track of it myself. Do we have a rerun on this? I don't think so.
We were talking about Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh,
yeah.
Ozzy passed away. You know, I don't think he even bit off the head of a rat. I think there was a prop.
I think it was a
Probably.
bad.
And
He was
because
trying
I
to
knew
work-
the guys on his crew, and they all said it was a prop.
Yeah.
You know, and when he would come to shows, when we did his shows, it was probably the birth of heavy metal. I would say that's the actual, that and Megadeth and Metallica, those were the three bands that kind of formed uh, the mold for heavy metal. If you wanted to be heavy, he was more of a shock metal, okay, this side. He didn't have the Aryan drive, I call it, that heavy metal, you know, the Aryan dance, the fist, right fist
Yeah,
in the air, you know, pump it up, pump it up. But he had all of the other stuff, you know, and his drummer was good. His whole band was good. They were
Oh,
very good.
you know, his drummer,
Excellent showman.
the drummer was a Bill Ward. Really good drummer.
Yeah.
And he does stuff that is hard to do, but doesn't sound like it's hard. you know?
Right. He has fluidity to himself, you know.
Yeah. No, they were a great band, and the guitar player was very influential.
Innovative too.
But I think Mountain was heavier.
Oh yeah.
Mountain was, and Leslie West, and he was the heavy act at Woodstock in '69.
Yeah, you could say he was. 10 years after was pretty close. Okay?
Yeah.
The only difference is 10 years after didn't have drive. They had frenetically. Okay, they were a frenzied band. Okay, they just but yeah, it was too bad for you guys that never will experience Woodstock. It was a good get the album.
The birth of heavy metal. That's a. But anyway, Ozzy's gone, but the band is still there. But they can't get Dio because Dio's dead too.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like Paul McCartney once said, you can't reheat a souffle. Very prophetic. So anyway, what other? Oh,
What else?
I was watching ABC, not cable news, not Al Jazeera, just ABC broadcast, right? About 2 hours before the show. And they were flashing on the screen pictures of, I think, 14 children that had been starved to death in Gaza. And it's just a horrible sight. I mean, it's just a horrible sight. And I got to ask myself, why? You know, I mean, why over this piece of desert? You know, I mean, what's so important about it? And why are we supporting any side of this? Okay, we should, if there's ever a reason for isolationism, this is the reason for isolationism. We shouldn't have any of our companies be building any bombs for anybody. We shouldn't be sending any, the only thing we should be sending is aid, food, water, medicine. Okay, that's it. That's the only shipments we should be giving. And it doesn't matter if you're giving it to Israel, if you're giving it to Palestine, or who you're giving it to. Okay, I mean, sites of that I saw today on ABC, no one in this modern era should be looking at. No one should be able to turn on their TV in this civilized era and say, we have some part of this, okay? Whatever this is. You know, it's got to stop. You know, I don't care who the power is. I don't care who the president is. The members of Congress, you know, it's left to right. It doesn't matter to me. This has got to stop. People talk about this guy was a pedophile, that guy was. This is 1,000 times worse than pedophilia. 1,000 times. These kids will never come back from that. Girls with their arms blown off are never going to come back from that. Little boys blinded by shrapnel, never coming back from that. You know, this has got to stop. And that's my say for the day. You know.
Well, what's in it for the United States? You know, Otto von Bismarck is one of the sharpest foreign policy guys in history. And the first thing he would look at is what's in it for Prussia? You know, what's in it for Germany? He would not get involved in the Balkans. He said the entire Balkans were not worth the life of one Pomeranian grenadier. Not one German soldier. The whole of it wasn't worth the life of one German soldier. And what's in it for the United States?
Yeah, and that's how I feel about being a family member of either Palestinian or Israeli denomination. Why would I want my family to be subjected to that? There's 550 vacant ghost towns in Texas. They're all in the desert. They won't get bombed there. I swear. I promise you. The Apaches aren't going to come and scalp you. Okay? Come. You guys are inventive. Both ethnic groups are inventive. Okay? They can be productive citizens. They can actually grow a community, prosperity. They can add to the gene pool in Texas. God knows they need that gene pool added to. You know, and they can turn that Texas desert into a paradise. And guess what? They might even strike oil, you know, which they're not going to strike in Palestine. You know, so I don't know. I can't see it. You know, and then again, I know I've said it in the previous episode that you know, people won't leave because God promised them this land and because it's holy to them and because their families have lived there for hundreds of years and all this other stuff. And I say, do what the Romans did to get rid of the Jews in the first place: raise the taxes, you know, and the whole fleet of Masada. You know, but that's the whole thing. You know, give them taxes and they'll go. They'll right away. They'll be gone in a heartbeat. So,
I think it's out of hand. That's
we got any more comments out there, or we washed everybody out?
You actually did have John say something really nice here. It's important to be a citizen of the world, not just a citizen of a country.
Well,
Which
I guess.
I think it holds a lot of depth. I mean, I think it means you got to be able to relate to the whole world and just not your country. I mean, it's hard to believe. You're completely right. I mean, I saw a video, and me and you kind of talked about it briefly before this, but it was of an old man standing at like one of the feeding aid stations, and the man had an empty pot in his hands, and he's standing at this fence, and he's starting to kind of like shake and quiver a little bit. You see his head dropping, and one of the people giving out the aid sees this, and he grabs the pot out of the man's hand and starts to fill it up. And the man literally starved to death standing in line. He ended up collapsed. He didn't actually hit the ground. Even the guy standing next to him saw it too and ended up grabbing him. But yeah, it's a horrible thing.
Dramatic.
I mean, to flatten the whole place, not leave a building standing is pretty harsh. Just, I mean, everything that's happened leading up to this has been really brutal. To just completely cut people off from
Who's
food and
going
water
to
is
pay
pretty
for the
inhumane.
rebuilding of that? I mean, every shot you see, and you don't have to just stick to the broadcast channels. Look at every station, and then go to YouTube, and just put in, you know, searches for what you want to see in Palestine. Destruction everywhere. Who's going to pay to rebuild that? How are they going to rebuild that? I don't understand why Israel will want to occupy it. That is a cesspool. Okay, it's going to cost them millions of dollars to occupy that, you know, to put troops through there. You know, there's no way to secure that place. No way at all. People hate you. They can hide in the rubble. You know, I mean, and the PR. Jewish people are known for their sense of PR. How did they lose so badly on this?
well. The other day, you know, they opened fire on those people. They shot a bunch of people that were, you know, all excited because they were going to get fed, and that's something like the British would have done that.
Yes.
And then the British would have felt bad about it, you know, a few days later. I mean, there were incidents in Ireland where British troops opened fire on the Irish people. There was the big thing in Amritsar in India when the British troops opened fire on a political gathering. This is like in 1945, 1946, something like that, maybe earlier. But yeah, they opened fire and they killed hundreds of people. You know, and it wasn't British soldiers; it was Gurkhas, and but they were working for the British. You know,
Gurkhas?
but I mean, the British did stuff like that, and now the British, you know, the British public didn't react well to that kind of thing.
I guess the big thing today that you really have to separate from it too is just that people everywhere in this world have a cell phone now, so you can really see it in real time.
In real
and
time.
It's not just hearing the depiction or, you know, a story of telephone handed down from person to person. I mean, it's when you're actually seeing it happen in front of you. I mean, there's no denying kind of what's going on. It's pretty brutal. And I mean, with the shooting of the people at Aid, I mean, again, just like I was actually watching, I follow a lot of these but like people in Gaza right now, they're live streamers. They have Instagram live streams, TikTok, all that stuff. And I was just watching one again earlier today, and it was a recording of the streamer that I've been following, and the guy was sitting with like his feet off the edge of a dock, and there's an Israeli ship out in the water, and he's just got his cell phone. He's just looking at the ship, and he raised up his cell phone, and they shot him.
Ah,
Yeah,
target practice.
And they ended up claiming the story that came out is that they thought he raised a weapon.
They thought he was going to shoot.
Yeah, they're on a ship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're on a ship, even if he did have a pistol.
Yeah,
What's he gonna, you know?
And
ding.
you see his friend sitting 2 feet away from him. I mean, these are sniper shots that are being handed out. You know, there's multiple doctors from America that have gone over there and come back and say that there's sniper bullets in children's heads. I mean, it's not an accident. It's not a misfire. It's pretty horrific to see everything that's rolling out on it.
No, it's like when cops shoot people and they say, "Oh well, I felt I was in danger." Well, you know, if you feel that much, you know that you're going to shoot a guy for no reason, you don't belong being a cop.
Yeah, but that's tough.
You
You
know.
don't think about that until you think about that. Okay, I mean, you really
Yeah, but
don't
they always
think about it.
dump the whole magazine, 16 rounds into the poor bugger. You know.
Well, that's a different thing. Okay, now that's, one bullet is enough usually. You don't need to do all 16. You know, but
I was at a restaurant, a hot dog stand, and a cop came in, and he had his pistol, and he had 3 extra magazines, and so he's got like what, 64 rounds or
ready
something.
for a siege.
I said, you have more ammunition. I said, than Custer's men had at the Little Bighorn. I says, do you expect to be in bigger trouble than they were in?
It's a siege. Surrounded by 60. Well, you know, when we were young, we took a lot of chances because we lived on the edge of the city. We lived at the western side of the city when it was starting to not be safe to live there. You know, especially where you were living at Cicero and Madison. You know, and then I had the coffee house over at Lake in Austin.
Yeah.
You know, and we had nothing but trouble for the last, after Martin Luther King incident, that was it. The neighborhood was too salty to feel safe in.
My brother Terry carried a pistol all the time.
You're what?
My brother Terry,
Yeah.
he carried a pistol all the time.
Well, I don't blame him. The guy, that biker right in front, who used to come in our coffee house all the time, was shot dead in front, right in the back of his convertible, and right in front of our shop.
I just,
You know, by an Oak Park.
by Irishmen. South Oak Park.
Yeah.
South Oak Park is a different world, you know.
Who was connected to the Teamsters?
Yeah.
You know, his father was, okay. The family was a Teamster family. He was just a kid, you know.
Well, that's what we think did it. But that things got salty. You know, I went down. I'm not going to tell this story here.
Yeah, you got to watch out. we're not in our own coffee house here, okay? We might be changing the name of this, folks. We might be changing the whole, not the format, but the name, because we were thinking that too many people have been telling me that they get lost looking for a Rhythm Roast Cafe. So I'm thinking, I've got a whole bunch of followers already on Doc Gandalf's, okay, which was the original coffee house, the one we're patterning this off of. So we can call this, I think, you can tell us what you think, Doc Gandalf's Revisited, you know, and that should, Doc Gandalf's Coffee House Revisited. We got to keep the coffee house or cafe in it, whatever, just for the ambiance, all right, because this is virtual. You are our virtual guests at our virtual cafe, and this is the representation of it physically, you know, so. All right, next week.
Well, I want to talk about
yeah,
a movie.
You got movies, I'm sorry, forgot the whole thing.
I went and saw the new Brad Pitt movie, F1, about Formula One racing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. and it was a pretty good movie.
Is he an actor that you can believe in? Is he
I,
believable?
I was watching him in the movie, and I was thinking he is probably the most complete package of a movie star since Clark Gable.
I'm thinking the
Clark
same thing.
goddamn Gable. And I was watching a Clark Gable movie the other day, made
Mm-hmm.
around 1950, Across the Wide Missouri, directed by William Wellman.
Okay.
And Clark Gable plays a fur trapper, back in the Rocky Mountains, the
So-
Mountain Man
so
days.
it's more
And-
of his macho-ness.
And there's a scene where he smiles at a woman that that he's got,
and that's it, the
and,
woman
and
melts.
when he breaks that smile,
That's it.
there's just this great, and I'm saying, God damn, Clark Gable, that is a movie star,
Mm-hmm.
and Brad Pitt has that, and it was a good movie, and he's good. I mean, I think he picks his movies carefully. He does that Bullet Train. That was a great movie.
I thought, when I started to think he was a great actor, versatile actor, I didn't think he was. I thought he was more typecast before this. But when he played, what the hell was his name? The Greek hero,
Oh, Achilles.
Achilles. When he
Achilles.
played Achilles, I had to give him kudos. I mean, he was athletic, he was dynamic. He had expression. And he looked good. He looked like Achilles. And
You know what he didn't get though?
what?
That Stanley Baker got when he played Achilles in Helen of Troy.
Yeah, but
he
he was
didn't.
bigger.
He didn't get Achilles' malevolence.
Oh, the meanness. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
The way he
And his bloodlust.
the way he despised Hector, or mistreated his body.
Yeah. 1956, 1957, Warner's made a big spectacle movie called Helen of Troy, and Stanley Baker played Achilles, and he was a nasty piece of work.
He was bigger though, right? I mean, they always,
Baker? No, not really.
Because I looked at, at first I thought, well, Brad Pitt's playing Achilles? Because I always thought like Steve Reeves.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we grew up with those movies, Hercules Unchained.
Or at least The Rock, or
Hercules,
something.
the Corinthians are coming.
Take me to Troy.
But Pitt, he's good.
Yeah, he is. He's real good.
So it was a good movie. I mean, there was no surprises. It wasn't like a great, but it was entertaining. And the Raisinets were good.
He and George Clooney make good partners in the same way that the Rat Pack used to. So their imitation of the Rat Pack 2 is a pretty good imitation, okay? It's pretty believable, and not that they're imitating them, it's that they could be like them,
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, what did I see that I thought was, I saw Superman. The one that just came out.
Is it any good?
The Henry Cavill lookalike guy. Okay, if you had a list of 4,000 actors that applied for the job, and you had a picture of Henry Cavill in front of you and say, "He had us to look like this guy." Okay, this would have been the guy. I don't even know what his name is. I don't know, but his face is—he's not quite as muscular as Cavill. Cavill, he's the whole package, But he's got his face, he's got the curl and the black hair, the slick black hair. It was okay, but there were some instances in it where, I was there with my 13-year-old grandson, right? And so we're trying to get into the movie desperately, and Superman is fighting this other Superman, like a Bizarro.
Like a Bizarro?
Like a Bizarro guy, right? And they're going back and forth, and they're slugging each other and all this other stuff. And I'm yelling, use your eyes. Use your eyes. He's not using his eyes, right? And then they get the dog involved. Crypto's involved in this one. And Crypto could have helped him earlier in the movie, but he didn't call Crypto to her. If Crypto and him were fighting Bizarro, it wouldn't have been a tough fight. They would have got him, right? Because Crypto got Bizarro almost by himself, So it's, but it's, it was worth watching. It wasn't worth watching again, but it was worth watching. The next one I got to go to is with my younger set of grandboys, and that's going to be the Fantastic Four. Okay, the Marvel one. They're more into Marvel and DC.
So I don't watch those movies.
You don't do the adventure comic movies.
I don't do the Marvel. I don't do the DC. You know, I'm an adult.
Well, yeah, well, you're a classic. You're a classic moviegoer.
And I don't have any grandkids.
I just need to throw a little shout out there to my sister-in-law Mimi. That is the exact conversation I had just had with her right before this, when she was talking about going to like Comic-Con and stuff like that, and all these like grown adults like dressing up and shit. And I was like, I know a lot of these people. I was like, most of them like live in their mom's basement. Couldn't really, like, they could have some other aspirations, things to spend $1,000 on outside of a Comic-Con ticket and another $2,000 on an outfit. But yeah, I mean, then she was like, like the Marvel movies and the this movies, and I was like, no, I don't know. I don't watch that shit. Like,
Yeah, it's I got into Marvel when I was 16, and know all of their characters, and I had all kinds of stacks of comic books, and then I got married, and you lose all that. Okay.
Well, when I read comic books, I didn't like the Marvel. I liked the DC. I like Green Arrow. Who was the guy with
Green Hornet.
There was a guy, Tomahawk or something. He was like a
Yeah,
frontiersman.
Hawkeye. It was Hawkeye.
It wasn't Hawkeye, but he was something. And then there was the guy that had this private army. They flew around in
Oh,
jets.
Sergeant Fury or
No,
something.
I
Nick
forget.
Fury was one.
But Superman and Batman were okay. They I was 10 years old.
Did you
when
watch?
I wasn't reading history.
You were old enough to watch the Batman TV series.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
yeah.
watch that? Pow, zoom, smack.
Batman and Reuben.
That was what's his name's first introduction into movies. The Karate Guy.
Oh yeah,
Bruce
yeah.
Lee.
Bruce Lee, yeah.
Most people don't know Bruce Lee was Kato.
He was Kato. Oh yeah.
He was Kato in the Batman TV series. He introduced single-handedly to people our age, boomers, what karate really was. None of us knew what karate was until Kato. Boom, 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 boom. Here's this little short guy, Bruce Lee. He's throwing people all over the place. They called it karate. It was kung fu. Okay, it was
Who was the first actor in an American movie to do karate?
I don't know.
Frank Sinatra
Frank Sinatra, really?
in The Manchurian Candidate,
Wow.
which was like 1962.
Wow.
I
I mentioned that movie, and most people go, "What?" That's one of the best political movies.
Oh, that is a great movie.
If you're out there in the viewing audience and you are bored for some reason, and you can get yourself to a search engine, find The Manchurian Candidate. You will not regret it. Okay, it's not in color, I don't think, right?
Black and white.
It's black and white.
It's directed by John Frankenheimer.
But
Not the remake they did with Denzel.
no, do the original.
Yeah, I really like that, but it's just
It's suspenseful.
you got to do the original.
It's suspenseful, and it gives you a new sense of political acumen, to say the least. Right.
And it has Janet Leigh.
Oh well, yeah.
Hubba. Yeah, it's a great movie, and Sinatra's great. Lawrence Harvey, Angela what's her Langsdale? Murder She Wrote woman.
Oh, Angela Langford,
Something.
whatever.
John also wanted to correct you. It was Green Hornet, not Batman. You said Kato from Batman was.
Was it Green Hornet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was Green Hornet.
Yeah.
It was Green Hornet. Wasn't Batman. You're
Angela
right.
Lansbury.
Lansbury.
She played Lawrence Harvey's mother. And
Right.
she is a chilling, fierce character in that movie.
Really?
Oh, she is
Murder, She Wrote. Isn't that what she's
Yeah,
famous
yeah,
for?
that was her thing. But she was in Solomon and Sheba.
Was she really?
Yeah, Victor Mature. She was going to marry Victor Mature, and she got killed by the Philistines, and then Victor Mature got
Johnny
angry.
Moe always reminded me of Victor Mature. Johnny Molini. He had the nose. But yeah. Well, Victor Mature was in that movie. He had his Knuckles, Hate and Love.
That was Robert Mitchum.
Was that Robert Mitchum?
Yeah, that was Robert Mitchum.
Okay.
Yeah.
They looked alike too.
Well, Mitchum was cool. You know, he got busted for smoking pot in 1947.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
He was kind of a relaxed, but intimidating at the same time. You know, he could be.
Robert Mitchum.
Yeah.
He was a reverend, or a preacher.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't
Night
he?
of the Hunter. That movie was directed by Charles Lawton.
Wow.
It was the only movie Charles Lawton directed.
Didn't Charles Lawton have a connection with Janet Leigh?
No.
No.
His wife was the Bride of Frankenstein. He was married. They were married. I forget her name, but she was pretty good. She was in the movie where Tyrone Power, Billy Wilder movie about a big courtroom case. It's up in London. Witness for the Prosecution. Yeah, she was in that, and that's a great movie. Well, anyway, I could talk about Billy Wilder and John Ford. I don't know much about the new guys, but you know. But I go to the pictures.
So what new movie have you seen that impressed you?
I liked Conclave.
Did you like Conclave?
I liked Conclave.
That was the TV version, right? You didn't see it at the cinema.
I saw it at the show.
You saw it at the show?
Yeah, we go to the show a lot, Carol and
Oh.
I.
I didn't even know it was at the show. I
Yeah, it
only
was
saw
at the
on
show.
TV.
Stanley Tucci was in it. He's always good.
I love Stanley Tucci.
He's good.
I loved him in an obscure older movie where he played this character called Morte. He was with Robert Wagner and the one that played his wife in Heart to Heart.
Oh yeah, Stephanie Powers.
Yeah, they played
She's Polish.
double agents, or secret agents,
Yeah.
and he was a spy. So
Oh yeah.
he was assigned to kill them, and he jumped on Robert Wagner at one point, and of course Robert Wagner made short work of him, right? And he's got him. He goes, "So who are you?" He goes, "I'm Morte." I am Morte.
John Ford didn't like Robert Wagner.
No, not
Robert
many
Wagner
people
was
did.
was in one Ford movie, and he didn't respect him. He thought he was just there because he was a pretty boy. He couldn't act, and he couldn't act.
I thought of Robert Wagner in the same way I thought of Roger Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, those were guys that had zero personality and great hair.
Yeah. You know who could act was Rock Hudson. He could act.
Yeah, Rock Hudson could act.
He made those movies for Douglas Sirk.
You know, the guy who overacted and always got credit for being a great actor is the kid who died in that Rock Hudson movie, Rebel Without a Cause.
Oh, Sal Mineo.
Yeah, no, the other guy, Sal Mineo, is a great actor. Okay?
Oh, you're talking James Dean.
James Dean. Okay, he's got everybody thinking that he was the great talent that never was because he died prematurely.
He
I
only
didn't
made
see any.
he only made 3 pictures.
Huh?
He only made 3 pictures.
And I didn't see any, Rebel Without a Cause. That was Sal Mineo who had the greatest performance in that one. I never saw an Italian kid cry before.
Yeah. And Natalie Wood was in it.
Right. Yeah, that's a great movie, Rebel Without a Cause. But I didn't see where he was that great in it. He's got this scene with, what's his name? The guy who plays his father. The most unlikely
Backus.
guy. Yeah. The most unlikely guy to be his father. Okay, I was thinking Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, Jim
Mr.
Backus.
Magoo. Wayne Backus.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's what do we got left?
I was just letting you know.
We're on free time now.
Yeah,
Well,
we can-
anyway, next week, I don't know if Nick will be available yet. He's dealing with a family emergency. So I think we're going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do a cooking show. In 2 weeks. Not next week, but 2 weeks from now, we're going to prepare to do a cooking show. And in this show, I am going to show all of you people out there my grandmother's recipe for sweet Sicilian pasta sauce. Okay? We can call it gravy. You can call it sauce. I don't give a, when I was in Sicily, I asked several cooks what we should call it, and they said, well, if it's got meat or fish in it, you call it gravy. If it doesn't, if it's just tomatoes, it's sauce. So that's from the Sicilian chefs. You can do what you want with it. Okay, whatever your grandmother or grandfather called it, that's all right with me.
No
But
matter what it is, the Italians in New Jersey will think they're right.
Yeah, that's right. New Jersey Italians need not apply, and especially Sicilians from the town of Sinatra. You know, by the way, there is a town named Sinatra in Sicily.
Sinatra?
Yeah, I went there. I had to see it. You know, there was absolutely no tribute to him. You know where there's tribute to? In Naples, there's a lot of tribute to Dean Martin. A lot of places give tribute to, and you know who else gets a lot of tribute? Katharine Hepburn. I have no idea why. Okay, but she's all over Taormina. You know. Anyway. Yeah. So.
She made a lot of friends there.
I guess so. Would she have one movie there, or the Roman Holiday or something? Anyway.
Oh, you mean Audrey Hepburn?
Audrey Hepburn. I'm not. Yeah, not Catherine. Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, well, she made that Roman Holiday with Gregory Peck. Yeah.
Right. Well, they got a whole museum dedicated to her in Taormina. That's expensive space. Okay, in Taormina.
She was a Belgian. Maybe the Italians like Belgians.
I don't know. I don't know anything about her, except that she was in that movie. And I didn't think that was a particularly good movie, you know.
I started watching it and like,
Yeah, I same thing. I got nothing out of it, but I did. I'm sorry. He's going nuts. Sorry, guys. Well, Mrs. Calabash, it's time. So, good night, Mrs. Calabash,
Calabash, wherever you are.
you are.